Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today just going to do a quick video talking about E3 wishes. These are some games that I kind of always wishing for. They don't need to come at E3, honestly. It's, anytime in the future is basically what I'm wanting, but you know, E3 is right around the corner, so I'm just going to take that moment to talk about some games that I am looking forward to. I know it's been a while since I made a video, been kind of busy, but thinking about some of my old stuff. How about that Genesis Mini? Wow, that looks pretty great. Some 10 more games were just announced today, and I have to admit, I don't know if you guys see my wish list video. If not, I'll link that in the description. But man, they've really knocked that out of the park. All my wishes have really come true. Even some that I didn't even think about putting in my video because I thought they were just outlandish. Well, they're getting thrown in there. But without all that crazy nonsense going on, let's jump on in. All right, so first up, Pikmin 4. This is a game I think most of you might be aware of and all wondering where it is. This is probably the one that I'm most anticipating, and Nintendo just refuses to give it to us. I don't really know. I don't think it's coming this year, obviously, with everything. I don't see why it couldn't be teased at E3 here with a 2020 release date. I think that would make sense, and it's possible, but I think it's unlikely. But just got to get that one out there. That's number one. Next up, probably the second most unlikeliest, is Sonic Adventure 3. Now, I want to make a standalone video talking about Sonic Adventure 3 and what I want to see in it, but Sonic Adventure, man, this is a kind of it's the part of the series that I grew up with on the GameCube, you know, with the ports kind of came over from the Dreamcast. Last year I ended up getting the Dreamcast versions and kind of playing through those, and you know, those are awesome. I know people have mixed feelings about the Adventure series, but I've played tons of the Sonic games, you know, the new ones. Even Forces, it's fun, it's okay, but nothing really compares to the Adventure games in my opinion. Maybe it's my childhood nostalgia, but I really like those games, and I'd like to see a third installment. But again, this is definitely probably the second most on this list that's least likely to happen. I don't think Sega really has any interest in that branding anymore. Next, Mario and Luigi. I want to see a new game in that series, and I think this is probably, you know, looking over the list I have here, the most likely to happen. Again, I'm going to make another video actually talking about this as well with E3 predictions, but this is, I think we're going to be seeing a new one coming next year. I think we could see it teased here or announced at E3 here. It's very possible. But yeah, it's like the Mario and Luigi series, and the last one I think came out in 2015, so we've gotten a couple remakes here on the 3DS lately, but of course, you know, with the 3DS gone, I think the next one could be announced here soon, and come on the Switch maybe early next year. Next up is Paper Mario. Again, another one that seems to come on every Nintendo platform. As of late has not been too good. Of course, I want to see a sequel to Thousand Year Door kind of following that part of the series. Probably unlikely that that would happen, but I think it's pretty safe to assume that in a couple of years we'll probably see a new Paper Mario. But of course, you know, hey, maybe Nintendo's been working on one, even though they've kind of hinted that they're not really interested in working on Paper Mario games at the moment. Anything's possible. Next, Super Monkey Ball, another Sega game, and I think this one has a possibility to get a new entry in its series. I know a couple of rumors were actually flying a few months ago about a mobile game. It's a little disappointing. The first two on the GameCube were great. Even Super Monkey Ball Jr. on the Game Boy Advance was quite fun in my opinion. Little portable version of it. Not as good as the GameCube, obviously, but ever since those, there hasn't really been a good one. The Wii had some bad ones, and I'd like to see a new Super Monkey Ball that kind of goes back to the way it was, and just make it simple where you're trying to get to the end of the level, and just creative level design. Possible. I don't know if Sega really is interested in Super Monkey Ball as much as they used to be. They seem to not really put a lot of time into those games anymore. But I'd like to see a new one, and it's possible we could see one here at E3. And actually going back to Sonic Adventure, I'd like to see a new Sonic game that just is good, you know. It doesn't need to be an adventure, but Forces, like I said, I liked it. It laid a good groundwork. They just need to build upon it, I think. And take away classic Sonic. Like, that whole concept's weird. But you know what? I said I'm going to make a standalone video talking about Sonic, so just stop that now. Next, a new 2D Metroid. Samus Returns came out about 2 years ago now, actually, and it was a great remake. I wouldn't even mind seeing a remake of Fusion. That'd be kind of cool. But I'd like to see a new 2D Metroid. I know Prime seems to be delayed, and I think it's very unlikely that we're actually going to see a new Metroid until Prime comes out. You know, maybe after that we could see one, but it's possible, I think. And I like 2D Metroid, but I like Metroid Prime too, so maybe the Metroid Prime trilogy. That's probably the thing I'm really wanting. I don't know why that's not on there yet, but I don't know. Just give it to us, Nintendo. Next, coming close to the end of the list here. This, my favorite game series, Castlevania. I want to see a new one. Castlevania, the Anniversary Collection just came out. It looks great. I think there could be improvements to the game lineup. Hopefully they do another collection of some kind in a physical version, but again, that doesn't really matter, whatever. A new Castlevania game, Lord of the Shadows, came out, I think, 2013. It's been 6 years now. So, I know people don't really like the 3D ones. I think they're good too, but of course, you know, a 2D Metroidvania Castlevania game is what people are probably really wanting. I don't care if Konami makes it, or if they decide they want to do the way Sega's been going lately and handing it off to a indie developer of some kind, but I think they should take a chance, and maybe they could hand it off and get someone that would bring some new ideas to the table of Castlevania. I don't really care. I just want a new game in the Castlevania series. But I don't want them to ruin it just handing off to anyone to make a Castlevania game. I want them to at least make sure it's still a Castlevania game. I'm not just going to buy a game just because it says Castlevania on it. That's not what I want. But next, just moving along here, the most unlikeliest and will never happen, but I'm going to keep wishing that someday it will happen because I want this. Star Fox Adventures 2. Now this, of course, the original first one came out on the GameCube, and this game is the reason I love Star Fox. It took Star Fox 64, the game that I remember playing as a kid, the characters, and put them into an adventure, like it says in the title. I know originally it wasn't supposed to be a Star Fox game, but I don't care about that. This is a good Star Fox game. When I played Star Fox 64 when I was young, it was so weird. You know, you're going around shooting dudes, and these characters are so cool. They're animals in space, you know. They could just really build a crazy world upon this and tell some interesting stories and go on good adventures. And Star Fox Adventures, it built upon that and actually did what I wanted as a kid, and it was great. And then Star Fox's Soul came out, and it kind of went back to the, the way Star Fox was, but it just makes Star Fox so one-dimensional. Like in Star Fox Zero, it's pretty much the exact same thing again. That's all they ever do with Star Fox, and I think there's just so much more that could be done. And thinking on like the Star Fox racing game that was rumored by Retro, I certainly hope that's not true. I just don't understand why they would take Star Fox and mix it with Diddy Kong Racing type adventure style and F-Zero. I feel if they want to make a racing game that's like F-Zero, why not make an F-Zero game? And if you want to add adventure elements like Diddy Kong Racing, go ahead and do that. That's cool. But I mean, if you want to do that, making a new Diddy Kong Racing, I just don't understand why they want to throw Star Fox in there when you have these two franchises that you're trying to merge together but not have those franchises. I don't know. It just seems strange to me. I hope it's just a mix-up, and they are making a new F-Zero game that has adventure elements, and a Star Fox game that's not related, and maybe a sequel to Adventures? Possible. I mean, they revived Rare's old Donkey Kong Country thing, so maybe they could take Rare's Star Fox Adventure game and maybe make a sequel to it. Anything's possible, but I'm not going to hold my breath because I don't want to die. So, moving on to the final game, and I don't really know if this one's unlikely, but I think it's very unlikely. So, Wario World. This, again, another GameCube game. You can see what I grew up with. I played all the Wario Land games except for 4. 1, 2, and 3 in the Game Boy Color. Played them all. Game Boy, I guess, with the first one. Every single one was just very creative and a lot of fun, wacky humor. And then when Wario World came out, I was so happy. I love the Wario games, and this was like the culmination of all my wants into one crazy, wacky 3D platformer. And they never made a sequel, much like Luigi's Mansion, which is finally getting a true sequel, not that 3DS thing. But we'll actually talk about that as well in a future video. And Wario World never got a sequel, but it got, Wario's been kind of like a weird thing, with the WarioWare games, how they, I remember on the Wii there was Wario Land Shake It, which was like a good game. I like the art style, but the whole shaking thing was a strange gimmick that I didn't really like, and all the WarioWare games are just ways to try out new weird things that Nintendo develops, and I don't know, it's just, I want a Wario World too. I don't know what Treasure's working on right now, but they developed the first one, and I'd like to see them take a crack at a second one. It's Wario World and Wario Land. These games, they've always been wacky, humorous, platformers, or I guess in Wario World's case, a 3D platformer beat 'em up. I don't know if it's gonna happen. Probably never will. I don't think it really sold that well, but that's still a game that I'm gonna keep hoping for. And that ends up the list. So go ahead and comment down below. Let me know what you guys want to see some at E3. Obviously, there's other companies. Sony's not going to be there, but Square. Do you want to see something from Square? I know I probably could think of a few, but whatever. Microsoft, want anything there? I guess I could actually think of a few from Microsoft as well. But let me know down in the comments what you want to see, and I'm gonna have a couple more videos coming out about E3, some expectations and predictions here soon. But thank you so much for watching. If you like this content for some reason, go ahead and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.